Good morning, everyone. And this is the mantra that is normally done here in India when people are commencing any activity together, especially studies. Especially living together, studying in an ashram. So you can see the meaning there also, that we do our studies together with full dedication, and we be filled with brilliance, and may it not give rise to hostility. That is very important, that there should be no jealousy, or that somebody knows more than somebody. That feeling should not be there. Everyone should be like the fingers of one palm. So everyone is unique, and everyone learns in their own manner. So that's how we proceed in this direction. And very warm welcome to all of you, and very happy greetings. All of you who have come from far and away, leaving your work, family, and taking time out of your work. And some of you even had very, very challenging journeys. And some of us who planned to come could not even come. They were on their way to airport, but due to some reason, they could not reach the airport and they had to return. So this, we will study about it later, that whoever is meant to be at some place, they gather, and whoever is not meant, at least in person, so maybe it's not the time yet. So normally we can give it the reason of coincidence or accident or something, but actually there is a reason behind everything. And most of all, all of you have spent a lot of money to come here. So let us make the optimum use of this gathering here in taking back with us some pearls of wisdom which cannot be given by anyone else. That is very sure, especially not by the facilitator, because that is the difference between wisdom and information. That information can be given by someone outside, but the wisdom has to be discovered and extracted within, from the depths of consciousness of each and every one of us, through the daily life activities and experiences that we are going to have here for the next 4 or 5 days, especially in this conducive environment of this place, which I will also share why, along with the study, meditation sessions that we have, workshops, and a lot of sharing that will go, casual sharing that will go on among each one of us at some point of time. So that is the difference between wisdom and information. But that does not mean that we will not share any information. A lot of information will be shared during the next few days, which I think most of you are mostly familiar with, because this is like revisiting the fundamentals, right? But more important than that information is to have the insight, or to have a bigger picture, the fundamental aspects of our life, so that we move from intellect to intuition. Not move, rather move our focus, because we need our intellect also. It's not like we have to leave intellect and then go to intuition. We have to move our focus from intellect to intuition, from fragmented approach, like taking life in pieces, that this is my social life, this is my professional life, this is my family life, this is my spiritual life. That is kind of fragmented approach. Instead of that, we should move our focus to integrated approach, life as a whole, and to move our focus from concrete to abstract thinking. We'll come to that also, what all these things represent: abstract, concrete, intuition, intellect, and fragmented approach, and other things. Okay. Now, since I talked about this place, the conducive atmosphere of this place, so I would like to really pay our reverence to Swami Anand. I don't think many of you know about him, but he is the Theosophist who lived here for several years, did his meditation, his discipline, and he used to be in samadhi for weeks together in a meditation. Like samadhi means in transcendent, leaving the body and in a higher state, and from time to time that was his spiritual practice. And he used to conduct the study camps here where people from different parts of India used to come. He used to coordinate and everything. So his name was Swami Anand. He was a monk, and he left his home in the childhood, went to Himalayas, met his master, which through personal experiences of many people, they say or they understand that he was in direct touch or disciple of the masters whom we normally talk about in the Theosophical Society. But why also I want to point about him, about the wisdom that we are talking. Normally in India there is a culture to touch the feet of the monks or people who are evolved, to take their blessings or some more positivity. So one person but he never liked anyone to touch his feet, not because he was saving himself from something, but the message that he wanted to convey. Because my mom knew him, so due to him, she joined Theosophical Society, and then she used to bring us here several times when I was a child. And under this tree, we were sitting just outside that oak tree. You can also have some moments of silence there. So she asked him that Bhaiyaji, he was called Bhaiyaji with love by everyone, that if somebody wants to pay his or her respect and want to touch your feet, and maybe he looks the divine in you and want to touch your feet, why don't you allow? So his answer was, why only in me? Why only are you seeing the divine in me? You should try to see the divinity in everyone, in everything. And that way, everything in this manifestation becomes revered, respected. And that is the realization, moving really from intellect to intuition, realization that divinity is in everyone. What Mary Kay said in the first line in the morning meditation, that the source of this cosmos is that energy, and that energy is in the heart of everyone, every being. So that is something I wanted to share, and this place really has those vibrations, because do we know the word psychometry? Anyone? Yes, Tobias, please. Psychometry, it's, as Tobias said, that this is the capacity of an individual to measure the atmosphere or the aura or the vibrations, whatever name you want to call it, of a person, of a place, of a thing, of any object that you can imagine. And H.P. Blavatsky had that capacity. And that's why if she is here, she would know that what all things have happened here in this place since thousands of years ago. Because that history is still very much alive, but only to a person who can recognize it, feel it. people, even J. Krishnamurti said that if you go to Varanasi, you can still feel the vibrations of Buddha, but those who are sensitive. So similarly, what my point in saying about this, that this place has witnessed the Swami Anandji for a number of years. He passed away in 2008, left his body, but all this place has been the witness of a really very uplifting spiritual energy. So let us make full use of it, along with all the spiritual uplifting energy that all of us have brought from different places in the world. And I would like to thank the World Federation of Young Theosophists to give me this opportunity to share with you all whatever information that I have gathered, and with discussion together all of us can grow. Okay. Now, you must have been given these set of questions, right? For churning of the mind. HPB said that Theosophy is not for mentally lazy, which means if we are not willing to work on our mind, that is, instead of following blindly something, we have to use our mind to contemplate, to ponder, to think, then our mind, just like any other organ, would become dull and inactive. Like our bank accounts become inactive if we do not use them for, 6 months, 7 months, or 1 year. Then the bank people say you have not used your bank account, so it's dormant, so now you have to do something again. So same thing is with our mind. If we do not use our mind in a particular direction, this does not mean we are not using our mind in the day-to-day life. We are using our mind, our intellect, in solving our professional problems, emotional problems, social problems. But are we using our mind in thinking something abstract, which is beyond our day-to-day life? So these questions are meant to initiate some inquiry, some churning of the mind, because as you see, these questions, why I am here, what do I expect from this gathering, am I in any way conditioned or prejudiced in any aspect of life, which I think all of us are in one way or the other. Am I governed by my habits, mostly or partly? What do I want from life? What am I grateful for in life? And what central thought do I anticipate will be in the mind at the time of leaving the body? And all these questions are in some way related to our studies over the next few days. So you can think over them, you can write your answers. If you want to put your name, it's okay. If you do not want to put your name, it's okay. If you want to share, you can give anonymously. It can be shared with everyone. If you don't want to share, still okay. But my only request is, do not try to answer them in a haste. Like, see whatever the first thought came in the mind and you wrote it. Because our mind is having so many layers. Even when we read the same book today, and we read the same book after 10 days, and we read the same book after 1 year, do we get different meanings, additional meanings? So it's the same book. So the same question, when we keep thinking again and over again, we will uncover so many layers of our mind that maybe the answer that we thought now would be completely useless after a while. So we think about it, we ponder, we contemplate on them, and then we write the answers about that. Because these are not some personality management questions. These are the questions which are taking us to our source, about knowing ourselves, which is actually part of meditation. We are contemplating on these questions and knowing ourselves, what is my conditioning, what is my prejudices, what am I really grateful in life, or am I complaining all the time about everything, that I didn't get this, I didn't get that, or something like that. So all those things we'll come to know about ourselves, because sometimes we are not, these kind of questions are not normally ignored in our daily life because we don't have time for them. We have our job, we have family, and if we get any time remaining, we try to enjoy or rest. But here in this atmosphere, we have time, we have the positive environment, and we have friends. So this is the perfect time to think on these kind of things to take us again from concrete to abstract, from intellect to intuition. And now something interesting. This is something we bought several years ago. I didn't know, but when when we are coming here, so I thought, why not take it with me? So this is something, what do we see here? Different colors and some patterns, and if any computer person is there, will say it's a point cloud. Right? So because that's the latest term I learned a couple of months back, point cloud. So in relation to some work. But there is a secret message. Yes, everything is colored, some patterns, but there is a very specific message in this, hidden behind, and it needs to be discovered by whoever is interested. I will leave it here, so anytime you are free, you can look at it and see what you see. Is there something that stands out and you get like get your eureka moment? But my only request is, when you are seeing, and suppose you see what is the message inside, just be aware or observe, does anything change inside you? Like, is your focus you feel more concentrated? Or anything changes in your thoughts? Like suddenly the thought movement stops. Because yes, the message, the moment you see the message, because there is a science behind it. The science is written on the back. So if you see the message, what happens in your thoughts and in your concentration? But if you feel headache or something, just then drop it. No special instructions, just try whatever you want to try. You want to see close like this, or in shadow, in light, whatever you want to try, you can try on it and see if there is something that stands out, and if it does, what happens inside. Okay, so as you are now coming back to the theme, you all know the theme for this gathering is the flame of theosophy, revisiting the fundamentals. I have added one phrase to it, key ingredients to holistic health. Because holistic, as you all know, is complete, the whole. And health also, we will see what it means, that also means whole. So our health is not actually something that we take care separately, and spirituality is something, like I was talking in the beginning, fragmented approach. We'll see how our thoughts, how our emotions affect our health, apart from what we eat, and how our spiritual health is actually the real health that matters, and how some of the bodily things may be dependent on karma, past karma, how we can even get rid of them. But the main thing is here is, we'll talk about in a while, but main thing what I want to emphasize is the word revisiting. What does revisiting means? Anyone? So it means we have already been someplace, known somebody or some idea, and now we are revisiting it. But that is a simple concept, but there is something more to that revisit than just like somebody in a weekend go to some hill station, like here. Every weekend or every 1 month people come here, do the same things, go back. Not that kind of revisiting we are talking about. The revisiting that we are talking about is something that, yes, we are going to revisit an idea, the fundamentals, the principles, but along with it, we bring with us a different or additional approach or dimension. Not with the old approach, not with the old prejudices or conditioning, but we add something more to that revisit. Then only in that case, whatever comes in front of us, you will see that it gives us a new meaning. And when we do that, any challenge, any problem, any obstacle, you will find automatically resolves. And to share with you something that I have struggled with, that I got from a friend, and maybe you, some of you may know about this. I was struggling with this puzzle that I thought I should share with you guys. Now, I was told these are 3 concentric circles, and I have to separate them without touching, without getting them touched. Like, I have to separate them, but they should not cross or should not touch, should not touch each other. If anybody knows how, maybe you already know, but then let others think for a while, give it a moment. Is it possible that we can separate them without having them touched? Okay. Because, okay, maybe I didn't make it so complicated. I was trying to show that they are in the same plane. They are in the 2-dimensional plane, right? They cannot be lifted up. So that brings another complexity, right? But what you said is actually correct. But when that happens, when we change the way, when we look at things, right? When we change our way of looking at things, the things that we are looking at will change. So everything out there is, all depends on what is our approach. Even the things that we call in life difficulties, suffering, pain, happiness, all those things are nothing else but actually all of it is here. We cannot change the situation outside as long as, we can. If it's something due to karma, it has come, unavoidable. If we can change the situation, change it. But if we cannot change the situation, then we have to change our mindset to deal with it. And that is the whole secret of things. Even the person in front of you, with the way that we look at the person, if you look at the person with a doubtful attitude, or you are already criticizing or thinking bad about the person, most likely that person will behave bad. But in case you approach the person with positivity, most likely are the chances that that person will behave or react in a good manner. So whatever is coming to us is actually our invitation, either in this life or in some previous life. So we should not complain about anything. Like HPV said, courageous endurance of personal injustice. But we'll come to it later. So that was something I thought it will take more time, but all of you guys are so evolved and so great that you solved this so quickly. So that saved us a lot of time. Okay. And that is also the thing about whatever we are studying. Why we are studying theosophy or anything for that matter. Whatever we are studying, it is good or true only if it gives the solution to our daily life, or the daily life of an individual, or the life of the planet. And that applies to theosophy also, or to any religion or any philosophy, that whether that philosophy is giving the solution to our problems as an individual or as humanity as a whole, then we can think that what we are studying is actually true and right. Otherwise, if it is creating more and more fragmentation in the name of religion, in the name of nationalities, in the name of different things, then definitely it is not the right approach. It is the fragmented approach. And that is also one thing very important in theosophy, that the spirit of inquiry is encouraged. I'm trying to go through the way that self-inquiry is very important in theosophy, because nobody here is asked to believe in something and not work your mind. And that is why if we do not work on our thinking process, on our inquiry, then we will fall into the blind faith or hero worshipping, which is not encouraged. And that is why you see many people who are not familiar with the theosophical concept, who are more familiar with the concept of teacher or guru. In theosophy, in theosophical society, there is no concept of a guru, because everyone is student of theosophy. The only guru that theosophy mentions is our own higher self, or the masters who have transcended the human evolution and who are helping the humanity. But even they inspire us to find the guru within, not from outside. Outside, a person, a book, a lecture can inspire us. But again, the wisdom has to be found within. That is the main crux of the theosophy, and that is why also Colonel Olcott has said, and now we are slowly coming to some of the fundamentals, that the very air of theosophy is charged with the spirit of inquiry. But at the same time, he also mentions that this spirit of inquiry is different, is not the skeptical spirit or the doubting spirit or agnostical spirit. And skeptical spirit or agnostic means, a skeptical person is a person who just doubts everyone and everything. And what is the difference between the skeptical person and the person who is looking for the truth? That's what he's saying, that it is the real desire to know and learn the truth. No matter how, from where the philosophy is coming, from where the teaching is coming, we are open to study and understand, and if we find it better, good, we apply it. But a skeptical person, even if he or she, let's say, agrees in principle, they will say, no, I don't believe it. So that becomes a barrier. And that is what he is saying, that it is this which has raised the TS above the level of all other aggregations or organizations of human beings, and which, so long as its members abstain from dogmatizing, must keep it on an altogether higher plane. And that is why we see in TS that nobody is asked to blindly believe things. But also, since people study, let's say, law of karma or powers latent in nature or in the human body or subtle planes theory of that, it is so much logical and scientific that there is a natural tendency to believe until the time people realize it by themselves. And also, why it is not a authority-based system in TS? Because it is more of a spirit of inquiry, not authority, because it's not a revelation. Theosophy is not a revelation, as HPB said, and she, even including herself, she said from the author, that is of Secret Doctrine, further anyone who is coming does not have any authority on any member, that just because somebody has written it, all of us have to believe it or follow it. You test it. If it fits on your logic, on your experience, then you take it further. And that is what she's saying, that whatever we have in Theosophy is not something revealed to the world for the first time. Very clearly she says that what is found now, what is shared in the form of Theosophy, is to be found in thousands of volumes embodying the scriptures of great Asiatic and early European religions, which are hidden under glyph and symbol. But they were left unnoticed or ignored due to this veil of glyph and symbol, because so many truths are expressed in the form of symbols. Even if you take the seal, emblem of Theosophical Society, that seal alone says so many things, but only the people who know the esoteric meaning of those symbols will understand that meaning. And what is now attempted is to gather the oldest tenets together and to make of them one harmonious and unbroken whole. So whatever literature she has provided, she has brought everything together from the oldest to the newest comparative study in the Secret Doctrine and other literature. Now, another point of significance which I am coming and which I'll share in little bit in detail. Oh, it's already 10:15. 11 is the break? Okay. Yeah. But anyway, at any time if you guys need a break, just let me know. We'll have 1 minute micro break while sitting in the chair, not going out and coming back. 1 minute micro break, which is related to our afternoon workshop. So in case you guys feel a little bit, tired, let me know. So now coming to another next aspect is, you see, today the world is largely dominated by science, right? And to an extent, I can even say without exaggeration, that the religious superstitions have been replaced by scientific superstitions. Okay, and what I mean by scientific superstitions is that whatever in the name of science is told to us, we do not question it. Just because it is published in some very respected scientific paper or something, and even that the theory is not completely validated, still, since it has brought to us in the name of science, we believe it. I have been so confused all of this time about chocolate, because one research came that chocolate is good for you. And then after a couple of years, another research came that chocolate is not so good for you. Then after that, some research came, coffee is good for you, then coffee is not good for you. I'm just making it in a lighter vein. That means that the same critical level that we apply to other things, we should also apply to the things that are given to us in the name of science, because as compared to the esoteric knowledge, or we can say in this case theosophy, science, modern science, is taking baby steps in discovering the things, the relationships of human, other creatures, this universe, cosmos, solar system, and I'll prove it to you. I will not prove it to you. I will share with you some evidences that how the esoteric knowledge has been so advanced, but just because there was the proof could not be given, it was discarded. But just a minute. But what we do not take into account when we are asking for proof, when somebody asks us the proof of something, what is required to give the proof? When can you give a proof of something to someone? Okay, so basically the proof should exist in first place. Let's just stay on the first point, that at least there are some references, there is something that you can refer to, right? So you must understand it yourself. We are coming to that, yes. America is a scientist? Yes. It's not, aimed at you in general, we are talking about. No, proof should exist first of all. If I want to prove the existence of this pen to someone, this pen should exist, isn't it? Then only I can show it to someone. And what is the second condition that the proof is satisfactorily conveyed? That the other person should be able to perceive this. If this other person, suppose, have color blindness, so this color, would he be or she be able to see the red color? No. Or suppose that person cannot even see, let's see. So he cannot see. So, okay, we will say by touch and all those things. Let's say there are no senses in that person. The person is in coma. Can that person perceive this proof? Is it possible, Marika?
It comes out of the body experience.
Out of body we'll talk later, right? But scientists won't believe that. What is out of body? So right now we are talking about the science, modern science. So the second very important aspect of giving a proof is the observer to whom we are giving the proof should be eligible enough to observe those proofs, right? And all the esoteric knowledge or theosophy that we are studying is not gained by some telescopes or by some microscopes or things. This knowledge have been made available to us by going within. So if we have to give the proof to somebody, then that person should be made eligible. Like even if you got your scientist license, you have to pass some exams, no? Or if I have to become a doctor, I should pass certain exams. So similarly, this eligibility of the other person or the science to measure the abstract thing currently is not there. Even till couple of decades back, the scientists were too scared even to use the term consciousness. Because, how do you measure consciousness? The only thing that they can measure is the neurons firing in the brain or in the spine or something. And then they say, somehow, mysteriously, that chemical reaction changes into consciousness, somehow. But they are not able to find how it happens. But the esoteric knowledge gives us what mystics and occultists of all ages and all different geographical area, different countries have, and now Theosophy has loudly declared. And it is in this sense that masters in their letters say science is our best ally. So in what sense? I will come to it now, that instead of laughing on such things, what, let's say, a philosopher has said, or what's especially Theosophists earlier have said, try to dig deeper in those philosophies or in those theories, which I will share with you in a short while. And before that, quoting H.P. Blavatsky, that we prefer the charge of folly in believing too much to that of a madness which denies everything. That she definitely says, as do materialism and idealism. Because the materialist person, or let's say modern science, because it is based on something that can be measured. Material means that can be measured. You can, if they say we cannot measure the soul, so the soul does not exist. But they do not keep their mind open that maybe my instrument is not sensitive enough to measure the soul. Both the options should be open. Either the soul does not exist, or my instrument is not yet capable to measure it. As the instrument of 100 years ago were not capable of finding neutrons, protons, or quarks, which we can do now, or the brain waves that can be measured now but not 100 years before. That openness of mind is very important when we are really interested in knowing the truth. And so, just some of the questions here I am sharing with you, that what is worse is, even these theories are not fully proven. They are taught to us as truths in the school. And rest of the life, we are so conditioned about it that when something like theosophy comes along and says, no, it's not like that, it's something, then we don't doubt science. We doubt theosophy. No, I mean, because science is science. Because science has the backing of so many scientists, and which is good, but the only thing is the openness of mind that something more can be there. And in that reference, I'll share with you some of the instances, like we have evolved from apes. Darwin's theory, but not fully explained, not fully proven. And it's otherwise that HPB explains in The Secret Doctrine. And only from the apes, and not before that from plants, minerals that we will be studying. So you can as well say, really, have we come from plants, minerals, and animals? And you know what is the biggest proof of that? Anybody here from the medical field of embryology? Embryology? Okay. So when the fetus grows in the womb of a mother, those 9 months, journey of 9 months of that fetus is, in short, the journey of the humanity on this earth. Because the fetus in the beginning is like a very small, like a seed, mineral, and then it becomes like a plant, and then it takes a shape of an animal, and then it becomes a human. But I have been looking for some theosophist who is, in embryology, so he can or she can make a paper out of that. Ari, please. I was looking on YouTube and here and there, but I couldn't find. So that's good. So you see, we have to look around what all. I mean, nature is doing all this. So it is in a way giving us the message that from where we have come, only if we are open to it. And who believes here that the universe started from Big Bang? I mean, we all believe it, kind of, because that is the most famous theory, but not fully proven yet. Who here believes that the consciousness is the result of chemical interaction between neurons? That's what we study. Who here believes that reincarnation does not exist? Although there have been so many researches by doctors of the cases of reincarnation, Dr. Ian Stevenson, that thousands of cases he has, put in the book. Still, it's up to us whether it's a theory or. And who here believes in the theory of parallel universe or multiverse after watching Avengers or other movies? No, at least I think there is a theory of parallel universe, but maybe not in the sense that they are showing. We will come to it maybe tomorrow, in the tomorrow session, that what kind of parallel universe we are living in. And it's not as fancy as it is shown there with all the superheroes and super heroines, but we'll come to it. And who here believes that solar spots are an anomaly in the scientific belief? This I really want to share. When does it happen? It happens every 11 years. when sunspots increases. And what is the scientific explanation of it? It's something very strange, which is kind of illogical also. But HPB explains this in Secret Doctrine. And you know how she explains? And that will give us this. Again, I'm coming back to Mary Kay's statement in the morning that light is in that thing, I mean, the source, and it is in everyone's heart. She says that there is a regular circulation of vital fluid throughout our system, that is solar system, of which the sun is the heart. So actually, solar system is not planets here and there rotating. They are actually one being, one organism, of which the sun is the heart. Like we are one being and we have a heart. And she says, just as our heart is pumping blood like this every second, sun is doing it every 11 years. Because in 10 years, that vital fluid goes in the solar system, and in 1 year it goes within the sun ventricles and auricles, and when it contracts, these spots on the surface occur. And if you could provide us the heart beating images, we can very well see these black spots on the surface of our heart every second, like this. So this gives us such a grand view that what we were thinking, of the planets going here and there, and we are here, but actually it's just one organism, the whole solar system. Sorry? Ether. Connected with ether of, yes, that is the medium in between. So, I mean, here we have muscles, blood, and all those things. Here it's in a different form. So that is one thing, that how that, and what is the scientific explanation? She also quotes that it is due to what one of the scientists, Father Secchi, says, due to the absorption exerted by the vapors issuing from the bosom of the sun and interposed between the observer and the photosphere. And another one says, because they are cooler than the other parts of sun surface. Now how, I mean, what is the logic that one part becomes cooler and the other parts remain hotter? So she has explained in detail. This I'm just sharing with you for you to go and read more later in your free time. And there are very interesting things along with the scientific facts that we study in Theosophical Society, Theosophical literature. And another one is this. How many of us have known this book? I think, okay, most of us. The Occult Chemistry. It was written in 1908, right? And in that, these were the 7 states of matter that Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbeater, with their clairvoyance, they explained: solid, liquid, and gas. This we are normally familiar with. Then they, at that time, see, 1908, they have described all this. But the scientists didn't believe them or didn't work in that direction. So in 1923, the plasma theory, and the plasma, which is a superheated matter in which electrons are ripped apart, it's a collection of ionized gases. I don't want to go into much science because we have limited time. But what I'm saying, the science is following what we have been studying in Theosophy. And then this is only the 4th state. The 5th state, the Bose-Einstein condensate of 5th state of matter, which was in 1995 proposed and discovered, which supposedly contains quarks, which are the smallest particle currently as known to the scientists, I guess. Okay. And then the next one is not even yet discovered, the next state, which is a theory only in 1974, that Brayon's theory, which make up the quarks and leptons. And I know these words are very complicated. What I'm just trying to show is that these 7 states of physical matter, physical plane I'm only talking about, not even going to astral or mental, there's the physical only, that was written and discovered in 1908, but the scientific investigations are still going on, and we have not yet reached there. This is, and few years ago I remember Higgs boson. Huh? Yeah, I also, yeah. Everybody said that, oh, we have found the God particle, and now we have found the source of the universe. But when I researched, I found that it is just a catchy phrase and not a scientific term. Higgs boson, proposed in 1964, discovered in 2012, it is still made up of quarks and antiquarks, which is bigger than proton neutron. So it means there are still further more things to be discovered by the scientists. These are just some of the things. Why I am sharing, actually, let me come to that, because I have to follow the time also. Why I am sharing all this here? One, as the foundation of the further studies that we are going to do, please do not ask me any scientific proof or evidence of that, because that's what I have studied about the planes or bodies and all those things. So I am going to share with you also those things. As much as possible, we can have some evidence or proofs or practicals, but after that extent, all of us have to go by our own intuition and own study and research. And second reason is HPB's recommendation of doing this, of comparative study. And what she says, that at that time only a certain portion of secret teachings could be given in the present age. And if they were published without any explanations or commentary, even we would not be, Theosophists also would not be able to understand them. Therefore, they must be contrasted with the speculations of modern science, so that we know, what is happening. That we are studying in Theosophy, what the modern science is finding out, researching, this. So, like near-death experiences or reincarnations or some different, or now there are cameras which can take a photo of your subtle bodies. So much sensitive cameras, trillion cameras are there, which can take a photograph of your aura, surrounding thoughts. So that's what her recommendation was, that archaic axioms, that is all those we are going to study now, must be placed side by side with modern hypothesis and comparison left to the reader, so that we stand on a firm ground. And now, also the aim of theosophical literature what we are going to study, the foundation and the secret doctrine, what she wrote in particular, and in general the theosophical literature that we study. That nature is not a fortuitous concurrence of atoms, as again the modern science would want to believe, that everything is a coincidence, that Big Bang just happened, we are just accidentally born, or if you have an accident, it is accidental accident or coincidental accident, something like that. So it is not like that. There is some intelligence working behind that to assign to, okay, I have tried to use the gender neutral language wherever possible, because in most of the literature you will find man, man, man. So wherever I could see, I have changed it to human. So to assign human his rightful place in the scheme of universe. So it's not like that, like many of us or many people believe that humans are the top of the food chain, and they can do anything to anyone. They can do anything to the forest, they can do anything to the oceans, to the creatures, the other beings, and no, because now there are consequences. So we have a rightful place which gives us a certain responsibility, not just the rights. To rescue from degradation the archaic truths which are the basis of all religions, means all these religions which are now covered in superstitions and dogmas, to rescue them, to know the reality behind what is being said. In every religion, a lot of dogmas have come, superstitions have come, but when we study the religion in the light of theosophy. We know what is the reality. Like, what does this symbol stand for? And it's not like if they are telling to fight your enemy, the enemy is not outside of other religion or of other caste or of other nationality, but actually the real enemy is within my ego, my ambition, my jealousy, or my different things that we all come across. To uncover to some extent the fundamental unity from which they all spring. Means all these religions have come from a same source. That is the very important thing to know. And that is why if we study any religion's esoteric aspect of that religion, we will find it is the same thing everywhere, whether it is Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, or everywhere. The outside, the exoteric part of the religion can be different, because different clothing, different way of worshipping, etc. But if we go into the esoteric aspect, they are all same. That is called in Hinduism Brahman, in Christianity Godhead or Allah, or that is the supreme being or beingness rather, to which we will come to. Different names in different religions. Elohim, yes. So that can only happen if they are coming from the same source. And again, to show that the occult side of nature has never been approached by the science of modern civilization, means, again, modern science has to take into account all because see, so many mainstream scientists who were like Einstein and Heisenberg and Max Planck, they all had a spiritual side. Einstein even used to keep the secret doctrine on his desk to refer to it. And there have been so many instances that these scientists were actually having some, you can say, experiences which could not be explained by the modern science, but they were never popularized. So that's what she's saying, that occult side of nature has never been approached by the modern civilization. We should do. Now I am coming to this point. Why do we do anything, right? Why do we study what we are going to study? Normally, why do we do anything, basically? For them, for dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin, which are like some, reward chemical, the painkiller, the mood stabilizer, the love hormone, or something. But basically we do for them. Otherwise, let's see. Why do we do things? Because that is very important. What is the inner motive in doing anything? Can anybody tell? When we do anything, we eat ice cream. Why do we eat ice cream? Yeah. Why do we have desire? Liked what? Pleasure. So, is pleasure the reason we do things? Right? Okay, need is, so one is pleasure, right? I need pleasure, so I need a particular kind of food, I go to particular place, I read a particular novel, I watch a particular movie, I meet a particular person, because it gives me pleasure. Simple, no? Nothing complicated in that. But also, we also do some things due to fear. I'll fail my exams, so I better study. Or, I have to go for interview, although a very good movie has just released, but I have to prepare for my interview because I might fail my interview. So out of that compulsion, I do things. out of duty also, that will come. Yes. So pleasure or fear, right? The fundamental reasons that we do anything is either I get pleasure out of it, or I have some kind of fear that if I don't do that, I will lose something. But we all know that pleasure is very temporary, and it will lose out its effect soon. I eat a very yummy food, but the moment it goes below my throat, it's just gone. And after a while, if I am not aware, the same thing will turn into pain. Because if I, instead of eating one ice cream, I ate 5 ice creams. So, one ice cream gave me one pleasure, 5 ice creams should give me 5 times pleasure. No, so you see, the same thing that is giving me the pleasure will turn also into a source of suffering or pain if I am not aware, or if I am not being discriminative. Okay, and then fear also. Fear, of course, children are afraid of parents, so they do something. Another thing, as Chaitra said, is the need. Another thing is habit. Do we do a lot of things out of habit? Right? I mean, get up in the morning and then brushing the teeth, or driving a car, or some things that they are automatically, like we are so comfortable in them that we just go on doing it without even being aware or realizing that we are doing it, or keeping the keys somewhere and just putting out of habit. Do we do like that? So that is one of the reasons, which is basically an automatic mode in which not much thinking is involved, because it is like a pseudo security. I don't have to think about it, I just go on doing it. But it is wasted energy and time because I'm not aware. Now the third thing, as Catalina said, there is also one more reason which I do not do for pleasure, which I do not do because of fear. Okay, sometimes we do, but we'll come later. I do not do out of fear, which I also do not do out of habit, but out of duty. And this duty, I am not talking about forceful duty that we normally tend to take the meaning in daily life. That, oh, it is my duty to clean the house, it is my duty to go to office, and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I have to work there, and etc., etc. So many duties that we are bound to do, which is, there is no understanding behind it, but I am doing it again, kind of some pressure or some fear. If I don't do, suppose, something, then some other things will not happen. But here, what I am talking about, duty, is something totally different. Because in the daily life, the duty word is one of the most misunderstood word, because of the moment you say, oh, it's my duty, it feels like a burden on me. But here, what I feel, what I'm talking about duty, is nothing else but an action that has come out of love and compassion. Like a mother feels her duty to the child. It's not like anybody, I mean, she's scared, or if she does not do, she'll feel fear, or she'll get side by side pleasure in taking care, or mother or father, anyone, to be equal. So that is a natural tendency. But how is that tendency has become a duty? Because of the bond of love. No matter it is personal love of a mother or parent to a child, or a friend to a friend, but there is a bond of love to a person. And so out of that, if suppose your friend calls you, oh, I have fallen sick, and then before even the person asks, you yourself offer, oh, can I do something for you? Can I bring the medicine? Who has told you to do that? I mean, you are not obliged to do it. You are not getting any pleasure of service maybe. You are not having any fear that if I don't do, what will my friend say? But because there is an understanding, that realization of relationship with the friend, the love, that thing automatically comes out. And that is why masters' letters, they have said that duty for them is the highest thing, even above love, because actually duty is the outcome of realization of love. And that's what very beautifully HPB has said. What is duty? Duty is that which is due to humanity. So now, if I do not feel any relationship with the humanity, will I be able to do my duty? Will I be compassionate to anyone? Will I be loving to anyone? No. So, what am I going to study now in this few days, or in general, whatever we study, that I am studying because it is my duty to do, because it will help me realize my relationship with the rest of humanity. And so that is my highest duty, to understand my relationship with the plants, to understand my relationship with the animals, to understand my relationship with the planets, with the other humans. And when I realize that thing, then what will I do? I will not cut forests. I will not kill animals for anything, for fashion or for eating or anything else. Then basically I will become a non-violent person. So from that understanding, when it comes out, the duty, as I see, it becomes the expression of love and compassion, because now I understand, I see the life as a whole, like the solar system as a whole, as one organism, not one planet, one sun, another satellite, and all those things separately, but as a whole. And when we see the life as whole, our actions will automatically be right, be prudent, be compassionate, and in harmony with the laws of nature. And when we live in harmony with the law, what happens? We feel peaceful. If you are driving without a license, has anyone driven without license or something ever? How do you feel? I mean, you are always looking for a policeman, no? That, oh, maybe, if there is a policeman you see far away, so at least I would, take another route and avoid the policeman in case I am not having the license with me. Why? Because I am not in harmony with the law. I am not in harmony with the traffic law, so I am having fear. But if I have all the documents with me, then okay, even if the superintendent of police is standing or the judge is standing there, I don't have to worry about it. Same goes with the laws of nature, that when we live in harmony with the laws of nature, which is seeing the life as a whole, then there is peace, harmony, bliss, whatever we are looking for right now in our life, they come automatically to us. And that is why the holistic approach to life, it is so necessary for the wisdom. And that is what also this famous philosopher poet Ralph Waldo Emerson has said. We think we are looking for happiness. Like we said, no? That I do things because I want pleasure, and I think I will get happiness after doing that. But he says the purpose of life is not to be happy, but to be useful. Because when you are useful, automatically the happiness comes side by side. I am talking now about awareness. Because the moments we are not living in awareness are kind of wasted moments.
But if you are growing yourself a habit of being aware, this is also habit.
No, exactly. So we don't have to develop a habit of being aware, but just be aware. There is no compulsion that I practice awareness every day, 1 hour in the morning or 1 hour in the. Suppose, am I aware right now? That's all. Maybe after 1 minute, I will lose my awareness and distracted by a thought. Perfectly normal. But again, suppose the thing is happening and then I come back to the moment again. It's not like I am fighting my distraction. I am not concentrating for it, or I am not making awareness a habit. I am just being aware. How else to explain it? Are you aware of your breathing? Let's say breathing is, we say it is automatic, right? But when do we become aware of our breathing? Or when it is abnormal, right? When we are in anger and we are taking too much very violent breathing, then do we become aware that, oh, my heartbeat has increased? Right now, even I am not aware of my heartbeat, right? But when the heart is beating very fast due to some emotions, I become aware of it because it is now very loud. But I am not making a habit that, okay, I should be aware of my breathing every now and then. I may be aware or I may not be aware, or I can be aware of the totality of the things. Not like if I am seeing the view. So everybody is in my view, or when you are watching me, everything is in your view, but maybe you are not particularly looking for this part or this part or that part, but you are aware of the whole thing. We need to first of all change our bad habits to replace them with good habits. Yes, totally. But then there comes a time that you have to leave, because habit is also a kind of conditioning at a certain level. And if I have to leave all, if I really have to be fully aware, I mean, I don't know, let's what J. Krishnamurti says or what somebody, Ramana Maharshi has said, then even that habit is also kind of conditioning. So that also at some, that's why even they say, suppose I'm doing brushing, do it with awareness, right? And that's why so many, since Kaustubh is saying, let's say I have now completely confident of driving, right? It has become a second nature to me. But what happened now, people are using mobiles, right? So a lot of accident, because somebody can be able to do both of them, but then when we are doing, we get distracted and there are accidents. So your point is totally correct. I am not saying anything. That in the normal sense, it is saving you thinking. Only body is active. But when we are looking from the awareness point of view, that moment is lost because I was not at all aware at that. I just did it in a habit. Same thing, when I am hugging, right? Or husband or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend saying I love you to each other. Do you think at some point it becomes a habit? Right? So would you like that habit, or every time the person says or every time a person hugs, it is full of that moment? Because then it becomes a habit, okay, ciao, I am going home, going office, I love you, bye. Or something like that, right? Even good things become a habit, but do we really want habit in that case, or the presence in that moment of the person? It's a, I mean, everybody can think about it and reach to their own conclusion. 5 minutes more we have, so we'll quickly move to next one, but definitely it's not, again, an imposition. These are just the things we are sharing, and very good that we had this discussion. And let me see what, so holistic life. This I'll go quickly in 5 minutes because Catalina has shown me that 5 minutes are remaining. So what does a holistic life or healthy life mean, right? Okay. Health, as I said earlier, it comes from Germanic origin, which is related to whole. Means, again, not fragmented. That I take my consciousness in a part level, partly this, partly that, means being whole. And whenever you are whole, you are healthy. And there is a saying in India here, I don't know, in other countries we used to study, if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. But I changed it a little bit. I changed it that if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, everything is lost. Because we will come to know how the character also, in the last few days, the thought power, character also is part of health. So if health is lost, and how it happens we will study later. How it, if health is lost means everything is lost, not just physical health, mental, psychological, emotional, spiritual health. And that's what even WHO says, that health is a complete physical, mental and social well-being. Not merely if I do not have any disease, does not necessarily mean I am healthy. If my mind and my emotions are not along those lines. And it is another World Health Organization observation that stress they have declared as the epidemic of 21st century. And mostly the youngsters, they have conducted this survey in US, and stress of work, stress of so many things they are having. So many students are doing suicides out of the pressure of exams and everything. So stress has become a worldwide phenomena. And okay. And why it is happening? Because we are becoming more and more individualistic. We are separating ourselves more and more from the rest of the humanity. I, me and myself. I am only looking for what I want, what I like, my ambition, my relation, that's all. In that process, what I am doing to the environment, in that process, what I am doing to the neighbors, I am ignoring completely. And that is the reason why everybody is, not everybody, I mean people are having stress. And at the same time, being lonely and being alone is not the same thing. You must have read that also, that lonely is one only. I mean, I, me, myself, I am full of myself. And alone, so when all one, I mean, I go with that kind of approach, stress cannot happen. Because the stress happens only because I think myself separate from the others. And what factors make the life holistic? Catalina, 2 minutes more only. I think all of you know this, but I'm just going through it to emphasize the fact. So what makes our life holistic? Money? Yes, no? No? Okay. Power? No? Okay. Popularity? No? Cleverness? All these are very, okay, we see so much, no? Possessions? No? Competition? You know, winning, exclusiveness. You must have seen so many advertisements, no, exclusively for you. If you have it, the neighbor will be full of jealousy. So please buy an apartment here, buy a mobile iPhone, latest iPhone or something. So you have the exclusive rights of something. Success for oneself. This is, all of this is happening, no? In general, in the society, in the world, people are going after it. And what is the result? Are these the results observable in the society? I mean, there are so many researches happening. Don't need to, I mean, it's about stress, I already just discussed, and about cruelty, division, loneliness, already happening. And there is more to it. Depression. So much of youth is having this depression problem. That, and of course, they are trying to find the solutions to it. But what solution they are aiming for? To pay $100 or something and do a 5-day course, and that will cure you of your depression. But do you really think if you don't go into the root of the depression, it can really cure? If we only trim the branches that you do this practice, but live your life as usual, will it change anything? No, until we change our understanding, the basic understanding of life. Wars, terrorism, ambitions, and selfishness, of course, in the root of it. And so, let's see the other side. Okay, sorry. Now, let's see what we are going to study: love, humility, friendship, forgiveness, generosity, cooperation, joy, inclusiveness, and success for everyone. Anyone here from the management background? Anyone from management background? Have you ever heard of win-win situation? Has anyone heard of win-win situation? What is that win-win situation? Everyone wins. I mean, it's not that one has to win and so other has to lose. So that approach, when we take that, I also win, you also win, everybody wins, then success for everyone, then harmony comes, bliss comes, compassion comes, unison, oneness, and then something more: joy, peace, loving kindness, passion, and selflessness. So with this, I think we are already too much getting tired of listening to me, so we'll take a break and have a quick tea break, and we'll come back to it later. Thank you.